Last night, we had officers in Tidewater Gardens investigating a stolen auto in the 400 block of Chapel Street. At that time, they were alerted by some residents that there was a fight going on at the house in question. Upon entering the residence, they were pointed out to an individual that had been involved in this that was in an upstairs bedroom. They came into contact with 43-year-old Willie D. James of Norfolk. As the officers were in there trying to negotiate this, they were at the bottom of a stairwell, and Mr. James came out into the stairwell holding a knife. As the officers tried to give commands to Mr. James, he ended up charging down the steps, also threatened the officer with the knife at that point, and at that point both officers discharged their duty firearms, striking Mr. James several times at the bottom of the stairwell. At that time, the officers provided first aid, trying to save Mr. James' life, and immediately called paramedics. He was transported to Norfolk General Hospital but died as a result of his injuries. We have recovered the knife that Mr. James was holding at the scene, and it's been collected as evidence. One of the officers involved was a 13-year veteran. The other is a 3-year veteran of the police department, and both have been placed on administrative duty pending this investigation. I want to point out that this is very early in the investigation. This is less than 24 hours old, so there's still a lot of information, a lot of questions that have not been answered yet, and that I may not be able to answer during this press conference. So.
Were officers wearing body cameras?
Yes, we have body camera video of the incident.
They were activated?
Yes, they were.
Will that be released?
It is too early in the investigation to talk about releasing anything right now.
Both officers were on.
One officer there was only one officer that had the camera out there during the incident, and his was activated.
How old was the victim?
I believe he was 43.
Chief, Councilman Riddick has called for a federal investigation for all police shootings going back to 2013. What is your reaction to that?
I trust my officers. I trust our process. All of these shootings have been sent to the Commonwealth Attorney. Many of them have been justified. So I have full confidence in the ability of this police department.
Just to piggyback off that for a little bit, does it hurt to have another set of eyes look at these cases again? Obviously, they've all been investigated, and a lot of them are over now, especially the older ones. Does it hurt to have another set of eyes look at these cases?
No, we welcome any scrutiny that comes. We've opened ourselves up through accreditation processes, through having people come in and take a look. We're not afraid of that.
The victim's family said that he was mentally ill. Were the officers that responded, were they CIT trained or certified?
I don't have that information right now. We haven't had a chance to get to that part in the investigation, but let me say this. This department has done its job with crisis intervention. We have done a lot of work. We have become one of the top CIT departments in the state. We have done our job when it comes to being able to make us better at dealing with the mentally ill. Now, we've not confirmed any of this yet through the investigation, so I can't comment on it. But I am fully confident that our officers know how to deal with the mentally ill when they have this issue. But I will say this also, CIT is not a panacea. It is not going to guarantee that every time we come in contact with the mentally ill that we're going to be able to get the result that we want. That's just not going to happen. We're going to do our best. We're going to be good at it, but it's not going to fix everything. That's just the fact of the matter.
Two officers firing their guns several times at a man who's only armed with a knife. What are your thoughts on that?
A knife is a deadly implement. I can do a lot of damage to somebody with a knife, and both of those officers were under threat and they reacted per their training.
You said recently that you would agree with calls for state legislation to mandate state investigation of officer-involved shootings. You recently handed two shootings over to the state police. This time you haven't. Why the inconsistency?
Right. Well, it's not inconsistency. If you look at what was happening the night that we called the state police in to do two of those investigations, we had a lot going on. We had a homicide earlier in the day. We had a major barricade that we were dealing with out on Church Street. In the middle of that barricade, we had a gunfight break out that resulted in another homicide and then an officer-involved shooting. At some point, I have to make the decision as chief to keep my folks focused on what they've already got on their plate, and then call in other resources to be able to handle things that, while we're in the middle of all of this. So that was the reason we called the state police that night, was quite frankly, we just needed the extra resources to handle that.
You also said that you wanted to reassure the public, though, by having an independent investigation.
Well, there seems to be a cry in the community to do this. There's a lot of talk all over the nation about getting independent bodies to do these investigations. So we're having that discussion as well.
So why not do that this time?
Because I've got confidence in my folks, and we had enough resources out there that last night to be able to handle this thing.
So the family has said, when he was in the house, that this victim put his hands up. Have you viewed the body camera?
I have viewed the body camera video.
That's how you made your decision to stand behind your officer?
The evidence supports what the officers have told us.
Evidence of the body camera video?
All of the evidence that we've uncovered so far.
So you saw the knife and you saw the man charging the officers in the video?
I'm not going to comment on that right now. That's got to go into the case file to go before Commonwealth
So
Attorney.
you did view the video?
I did view the video.
What kind of knife was recovered?
We have I don't know if we've released it yet. We do have a picture that we're going to release of the knife that was recovered.
Can you describe it, though?
It looks like a large kitchen knife.
Was there anybody else in the home at the time?
There were, but I can't tell you. We're too early in the investigation to be able to tell you who, where, or how many.
Just looking back on the past year with how many homicides there have been so far this year, anything you want to say in regards to the number of officer-involved shootings and homicides so far?
This is a trying time for the community and police department. There's no doubt about that. But in the situations that we've been involved in, the officers have been under threat, and they've responded to protect their own lives or protect the lives of others. That is what we're trained to do. I don't know how else to put it.
Is this the new norm? I mean, it seems like we've had so many of them compared to past years and compared to other localities. I mean, is this the new norm in Norfolk where we're going to see these shootings continue?
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think this is, I can't explain this, but I don't think this is the new norm in any way, shape, or form for our city.
Do you go back then and look when you have 5 and then 6 that live? Do you go back and then look at training? Is it a training thing?
In our process, we look at everything. We take a look at the entire flow of events in each and every one of these incidents to take a look at whether or not, was there anything we could have done different? Is there a training thing that we need to change? All of that. We will do that with this incident as well. But that's just the normal way that we do things. We do a lot of self-review.
What were the outcomes of those self-reviews after the previous officer-involved shootings we had?
Yeah, I can't go case by case by them, but we continually adjust our training. One of the things that we did, the city was able to purchase a very state-of-the-art simulator for us. This is a simulator that we can go through, teach our officers how to de-escalate, teach them how to negotiate different situations, and we're making full use of that training simulator right now. So that's one of the things that came out of this, was to be able to put our officers into judgment situations over and over again, to be able to negotiate these incidents. And that's one of the things that's come out of this.
How many officers have used that? When are they going through that training?
I believe we have gotten all of our officers through it right now through the first iteration of it.
Can you say how many shots were fired last night?
No, I can't. It's too early. I don't know. We don't have that information yet.
Obviously, a lot of us, and the public too, they look at numbers, they see how many homicides or how many officer-involved shootings. Does this come down to statistics? We're in June and there's 5 officer-involved shootings. Is this something that, these situations, is this something you guys can prepare for?
It never comes down to statistics. If we try to reduce this to just numbers, you're going to lose something, because it's not just a number. It's a situation. It's an incident. These are human beings involved with this on both sides of the equation. So when you start trying to reduce it to just numbers, you're losing something. Every one of these have to be looked at, they have to be dissected, and they have to be evaluated so that we can see what's going on and see whether there's anything that can be changed. But it's not just a numbers game. Never has been, never will be.
Have you personally ever been involved in an officer-involved shooting?
No, thank goodness I've never been involved in one of those.
Just from your training and talking to your officers, can you just give us, a description or an emotion of that minute or second or millisecond before an officer has to fire
Well, put yourself in that situation and see how you would feel with it. You have got to make a million decisions in half a second on what's going to happen. And you've got adrenaline flowing, you've got all the chemical cocktail that comes with being under stress, and then you've got to make a decision or not as to whether you're going to have to pull the trigger and possibly take a life. It's a very stressful situation. It's the most stressful situation our officers go under. So yeah, it's a tough thing to negotiate, and nobody wants to do it. These officers right now that have taken place in this last night are devastated that they've had to be in this situation. And they are distraught. They will never be the same as a result of this. I've never seen an officer come through one of these things unscathed. It is just the nature of what we have to do, unfortunately and tragically at times.
Did you guys do the right thing last night?
I'm going to stand behind my officers on this, yes.
Chief, you want to go ahead and close up the ending statement, and then we'll be done?
Chief, are you going to name the two officers?
Not now, no, I'm not.
Later on?
We'll name later on. You know, a lot has been made of mental health issues and police response to mental health issues. I will tell you that, in my opinion, this country has abysmally failed in being able to deal with their mentally ill. And if we are going to continue to lay these social issues, the homeless, the mentally ill, heroin addicts, at the door of your local police department like some foundling child, you are never going to get the results or the desired outcomes that you want. We will get better, and we will do our job, and we will do a very good job at that. But there's got to be a cry in this country about how to deal with this in a better way.
Chief, one last question. Was this victim known to the police department?
That I don't know.
All right, thank you very much.